Fix problems before they become problems. I know you're wondering, it's already a problem. How am I fixing it before it becomes a problem? Now, very many of us have a tendency of ignoring problems that look like small problems. And that is one of the ways we lose our money. It is a very subtle way of losing money. Many times you don't feel you're losing money. But allow me to explain how you lose money. For those who drive, for example, your car begins to produce a certain small sound. It's not a usual sound, but we ignore because the car is still moving. Okay? You're supposed to service your car periodically, for example, but you find yourself overlooking the service schedule because the car is still moving. Or even you yourself, your tooth begins to feel uncomfortable. It's aching or something like that. And then you ignore because at least you can handle the pain. Maybe you can do painkillers here and there. But what usually happens in the long run is that what we ignored, what was a small problem, what was not even a problem, it just looked like a small issue, a manageable issue in our hands, eventually begins to degenerate into a big problem. If it was your car, you ignored, the problem escalated, your car was overheating, you could run a couple of kilometers, you add water, you move. So as long as you're still adding water and moving, it was not a problem for you. But wait until eventually the overheating begins to get into your gaskets and blowing them, and you begin to have serious problems. Some people have had to replace entire engines because there was a problem which was small, which was just needed you to sort out your cooling system, maybe replace the radiator, the water pump, whatever it is that was contributing to the problem. But because the car was still moving, you continued, to survive. So when your income gets strained, when you start struggling, when you feel your income is struggling, please, this is not the best time for you to postpone solving issues. Nip them in the bud when it's still early. Handle them when it's still early, when you can still use 1 kobo. Before it gets to a level you will need to use a whole naira on it. Okay? So, treat problems before they become problems. So when your income is struggling, it's a bigger principle for life, not necessarily when your income is struggling, but it is specific, it is more needed when your income is struggling. It's not the right time for you to keep postponing problems. Now, many people even get to have a justification that now that my income is struggling, let me not spend money on this because I don't seem to even be having enough money for this problem. Let me just manage with it a bit. But you see, it will still degenerate and it will call for a lot of money from you, especially if it is affecting something that you depend on. So if your income is struggling, learn to treat problems before they become problems.